everybody. Welcome to Nikki Nights. We are from LA. It's my last podcast in LA. I'm so sad because I really love it here. But I'm excited because I'm joined by my friend Ryan Cassata. We were just trying to figure out how to plug in the microphone. And you guys know your friend over here is not technologically equipped in the least. But this is like my first in-person podcast because it's, everybody knows we've all been banking on Zoom. So Zoom has been connecting me with all of my guests, but now I get to sit next to one, and we're here.
Yo.
So Ryan and I are both from Long Island. What part of Long Island are you from?
Bayshore.
Bayshore. I think, well, you guys have that haunted theme park there, right?
Oh, Pilgrim State? Wait, theme park? Wait, what do you mean?
Well, it's a Bayshore haunted, the thing that, Bayville. It's Bayville. Bayville haunted theme park. It's a haunted attraction on Long Island. I've never been to because I'm scared shitless of things like that.
Oh, I should get closer to the mic. I'm cut off.
So, we're learning as we go here, and thank you guys for being patient through all of my podcasts. Every day, it's a crapshoot. I'm like, is it going to work? Is it going to connect? Today I did dye my hair, though.
It looks great.
Thanks. I wasn't fishing for a compliment, but thank you.
I told you when you
I love how
it was the first thing I said.
Thank you. I'm pointing it out for people, but people are also saying to me right now, I'm playing this in my car, right? And I'm not watching this. I'm playing it on Spotify. So that was just my announcement that I dyed my hair today. It was just, it needed to be done if anybody was wondering why. I sat down with my hairstylist, and he's the sweetest guy, Ryan. And he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, wow, you really haven't done your hair in 2 years." I said, "No, I haven't." And I was like, "Craig, there's so many grays." And he's like, "Oh, stop." And then he went, "Oh, wow." I just heard a wow from behind me, and I was like, "You see?" He's like, "Wow, there are a lot of grays." I'm like, same. So that was a reality check. It's like, when you feel something about yourself and then somebody else points it out and you're like, well, you really didn't have to verify that. It's like,
I have a lot of grays too when I don't dye it.
Really?
I got them because I faked knowing how to read music for a musical I was in with Stephen Trask and Peter Yanowitz at Vassar. I was in Powerhouse Theater. Do you know it?
No, I haven't heard of it.
So it's like a big theater program, but I was in what's it called? A workshop musical that Stephen Trask from Hedwig was doing, and you kind of needed to know how to read music for the harmonies and shit. And I fucking just recorded everything on my iPhone and memorized it, and it was so stressful. And I had like arrows on my paper, like, okay, go up, up, up.
See, I don't read music either. I can't read music. I learned when I did my high school production of Carmen, I learned it note by note, word by word. 6 months I sat there with my mentor. She just right in my ear. So it was, I get it.
Yeah.
It's tough, but that does sound stressful.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Would you want to do Broadway in the future? Is that something?
Maybe. Whatever happens.
If there was.
I mean, it's like, that's when like music and acting combine, and you're doing the live performance. Because like with this movie, like, that I just did, like, yeah, I'm playing music and stuff, and it does feel like a performance in a way, but it's not like the same type of performance with like a cheering crowd. And
for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned your new movie. We just went, what was it, Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday was the world premiere of Two Eyes at Outfest. We were the closing night film.
It was amazing, and that's one of the fun parts about, that's one of the amazing parts about you, though, is you have this incredible voice, and I always tell you, like, it takes me somewhere on a journey. It's true. Ryan doesn't even know this. When I'm at home, I will just put on Ryan's music on Spotify. I've written my book to your songs.
Really?
I'm like, yeah,
oh my God.
I'm not kidding. Late at night when all the world. Yeah, no, that's just me and Ryan. Late at night, and Ryan's not there. He has no idea, but his voice is. Yeah, it's because you soothe me, you calm me. Not many people do. So I appreciate it.
Song?
But Well, I always go with daughter.
Really?
Always. It's always daughter. It's Catcher in the Rye a lot too. Old Car is one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah. I go hard on some Cassata late at night. So, yeah, but so Two Eyes though, you started singing in the beginning of the movie, and it's got to be really cool to have your music play throughout, and then what was that like?
I didn't know that they were going to use the song so much in the movie, so the first time I saw it I was like, oh, that's my song, like, and it was the melody of it throughout it, but I play it in the beginning. But that's crazy because like the first scene of the movie is the last scene we shot.
Really?
Yeah. So we wrapped after we filmed the first scene.
That's trippy. See, with Hairspray, it was our last scene was I Can Hear the Bells in the bathroom. And I remember when they yelled cut and that's a wrap on Hairspray, I just lost it.
Really?
Lost it in the bathroom stall. And I'm like, I couldn't come out. And yeah. How did you feel when you wrapped this? Were you like relieved that it was in the can?
No, I mean, I would have like stayed on set forever. You know, it like becomes a family, and the craft table is
Crafty,
so good.
Though. What's your go-to with Crafty?
Oh my god, I was eating so many those, what is that called, Skinny Pop, and they kept going to the grocery store because I kept eating all of it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys.
It's so funny. Like I've had some of the most craft services always knows like. They know with me, I love my tuna fish. Like, it's weird. I have weird cravings on set. Like, on Hairspray, they would have, like, a half a pound of tuna for me and Amanda Bynes at all times because it would be, like, 2 o'clock in the morning and we'd be craving tuna fish. Yeah, weird.
We had
weird
such
stuff.
a good food truck that came and did 2 meals a day, and we had breakfast at the hotel, but it was so good.
And you guys filmed in Montana, right?
So that was, like, the only food in the whole town.
Really?
Yeah. There was like a couple restaurants with very basic, not great food. And not only that, but like a bunch of queers in Shelby, Montana. We like stuck out like sore thumbs. So it was a little intimidating to go into restaurants. We were like, stay in a group.
Stay in a group. Safety in numbers. Yes, I know. I mean, I've been to a few of those locations where there was one point where we were in Canada. We were in this tiny little town that used to be an old oil town, and it's kind of like nobody really lives there anymore, but magically everybody comes out at night. It's really weird. Like, so it's like at 10 o'clock at night, my mom was starving one night. She was like, oh, I'm going to go to the place. And one of the hotel people were like, no, ma'am, you can't. Yeah, they wouldn't let her. Another, when I was living down in Louisiana, well, this is crazy story. I was filming, Queen Size in Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a Lifetime movie, and they told my dad at 3 because he would go out for cigarettes all the time. And one time he went down at like 3 a.m. They're like, "Sir, go back. You really shouldn't be out here at this time of night." Segue to the next morning. I'm getting ready to go to set. My calls are always at the butt crack of dawn, and I'm getting ready. My call was 5 a.m. and then they text me, "Hey, it's gonna be 9." I'm like, 9? That's really late. Okay, 9 comes. No, it's gonna be 11. 11 comes. 1, and I'm like, something's going on. I get to set, and as my car is pulling in, a coroner van is pulling out. They found a dead body behind the high school that I was filming in.
That is so creepy.
I felt awful because it's like now we have to go make a movie where I felt horrible. I felt horrible ever since then. There were cops on set, but it was like
we had so many police interferences on our set.
Really?
There's one time where, you know, like they put shit on the set. So they moved 2 plants from the front of this building we were using, and they put them in the back of the truck, but we brought them there apparently. And then someone called the police. Oh, 2 guys stole plants from the front of this building, the therapy building in the movie. Because there's nothing happening in that town.
Right, and they see cameras coming and a crew, so and they're like, we're all going to get in on this.
I got pulled over like 3 times in the back of people's cars. They bought me, see that little police car Hot Wheels? They bought me that. When I left set, they gave
That's your new
me.
nickname, Hot Wheels, by the way. I'm just going to call you Hot Wheels Cassata now.
That was my souvenir. Because the police interfered. And the train
That was your rap
too.
gift.
There was the police waiting in the back, and you're like, you gotta get out of the shot. Like,
You have
nothing, like, this is not, we're acting. Let's get out of here.
And how long did you guys shoot for?
We didn't shoot long, maybe a week and a half.
Wow.
For the Montana part, and then a day in LA, a day in New York.
Wow, that's amazing. And so this is like your first big movie, right?
Yeah. SAG, low, whatever. But now I'm like a must join now. If I get one more thing.
So I mean, you've been doing music for like the whole life.
Yeah.
So
20 years.
20 years. And you started with a guitar.
Yeah, very terribly.
No. Okay, you haven't heard me attempt.
First.
You don't even know what it is like.
Yeah.
I'm awful. So I give you
I
all
was
the
terrible,
credit.
but I had the passion, so I kept going. Even though my brothers were like, shut the fuck up. He's playing the same song over and over, Mom. Tell him to stop.
That's what it's like in my house. I do my warm-ups, my vocal warm-ups in the morning, and I'll get in the shower, and it'll be like 9 a.m., and I'll be like, woo! And my mother's like, shut up, please, shut up. She's like, I love you, your voice, but my God, I can't take this anymore. Like, I actually, one time, it was so bad. I was out here in California, and I was warming up for an appearance in the morning, and all of a sudden, I hear, I get a phone call to my room. Hi, ma'am, this is the concierge. I'm like, hi. He's like, is everything okay in there? I said, everything's fine. He goes, okay, because somebody just called and reported that there was somebody being either abused or hurt. And I was like, no, that was me going, Z. So I was like, come on, KTLA, I need to be warmed up for it. But apparently they thought it was an episode of true crime going on in there. Oh my God. But
my mom never told me to stop. She always told me to keep going. She always encouraged me even when I was so bad at everything.
I love that though. And your mom was at the premiere, and she was so sweet. And I took the sweetest video of her. And
oh really?
Yeah, it's her watching you, and it's so sweet because a mother's pride. Yeah,
she cries now that she's getting older. She cries at everything.
My mother cries at everything. It's unbelievable. I could send her a voice note, and she'll be like, "Oh, no, that's a lie." It's more so like commercials and Hallmark and Lifetime. Lifetime gets her. She gets her in the gills, and I'm like, "Oh, lady, like she'll be crying." But I mean, speaking of movies, do you want to do more? That's a ridiculous question.
I do. I do. I loved it. I love being on set.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with this virtual world.
I know. Well, I actually filmed a TV show from my back room.
Really?
Yeah, it was so weird. I was like, oh, well, I'm in charge of the camera angles now, and this isn't good. Because, no. I was like, I'm not equipped for this, and I literally, my washing machine was in the entire episode.
Really?
Yes. So we ended up using it, because I was like, guys, I can't get the washing machine out of the shot. So they're like, all right. So we started the scene with the washing machine on.
Really?
Joke. Yeah. Improv comedy. Have you ever done improv?
I've done a little bit. I did improv. We had to do improv for this one audition I did it was for a music video for Chromeo. Do you know that band? Like, they combined funk with like rock.
Yeah.
And I was in a music video playing like a high school student, typical of me.
You and me both. I'm still playing high school.
But that one we had to improv. It was that was a fun shoot. You're there forever for that. For like 2 seconds experience.
2 seconds. I know.
With Dram, the broccoli guy.
Oh my gosh. Our mascot on my improv troupe was it's ridiculous. Our improv troupe's opening video started with a bottle of Mrs. Buttersworth.
Really?
She was our mascot. Like, what?
Oh my God.
High school, though. What was high school like for you? Was it fun or?
Oh, it was interesting. Some of it was fun. Some of it was terrifying.
Yeah.
A lot of it was homophobic and transphobic, but
yeah, I went to a massive high school, and I was so uncomfortable because there was just too many kids, and I found myself not being able to focus or really learn, and I was just barely getting by, like C's, and then I was like, you know what? I went to see my guidance counselor. I was like, I need to figure this out, and so there was an alternative high school in our town, 8 kids to a class, like all the teachers called by their first names, and when I sat down, they were like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to sing," and they're like, "We have a recording studio." I was like, "I'm home." So literally, I would record with my principal, and so it's like I went from like such a non-creative environment to an all-creative environment, and they were the ones that really encouraged me to try out for Hairspray. They were like, "We'll give you your diploma early." I know, and so.
Good thing. See, everything, all the paths align. To do exactly what we're meant to do.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself every day. What's meant to be is meant to be. Whatever will happen will happen.
Yeah.
Just gotta have faith, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what my nan used to say. She had all these funny, sweet little sayings. But, so what's next for you?
What's next? I mean, when the world opens back up, I hope I go out on tour again, for sure.
Where's been one of your favorite places that you've toured?
Well, I go down to Arkansas a lot, so I built, like, a nice little fan base down there and, like, a family, too. So I always love going there, and I always try to stay there for, like, a few days, and that's, like, my resting spot,
I try and do the same when I go away. I'm like, let's give me a day.
Plan, yeah.
And I
like it there.
I never get a day.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was like, the week that the freaking shelter-in-place thing happened, I was supposed to play at the Paramount on Long Island, opening for Against Me.
Oh my god.
And it got canceled. And then South by Southwest was canceled. I was supposed to play South by Southwest. It was my first time, like, doing an official showcase.
Oh, sorry.
So it was like, all that shit got canceled. And I mean, I hope that it's going to be rescheduled, but who knows,
The thing is that I had a similar experience after Hairspray when I was nominated for Golden Globe. It was the year of the writer's strike. So all award shows were canceled.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like I had to sit at home and lose on TV. I did. I sat there and I sat in my pajamas, but it's like when you get that first great experience like you're having right now, and then you don't get to go to the actual event.
I know.
It's gotta be crushing.
It's weird. It's super weird.
But the good news is there's always another opportunity, another chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Maybe some film festivals will pop up and follow the drive-in thing. It was fun.
That's what was so cool was we went to
Outfest
and the whole premiere was like drive-in, and that, it was really, really cool. Everybody was able to be socially distant but together.
It was nice. I haven't seen that many people in 6 months.
I know. I was like, oh my god, so many people, so many places to look.
A lot.
And we were at a place in LA, well, Malibu really, it's where I filmed a show called Huge for ABC Family, and this ranch, you guys, I spent like over 4 months there, and so it was literally bringing me back. Somebody said to me, like, you might be having a little bit of PTSD. I was like, probably. I was like, because it was great experiences there, but I did fall down one of the hills.
I tripped on that too. I tripped up it.
You tripped up it?
With the lemonade.
See, but did you lose the lemonade though?
No, because of you.
Because
you saved me.
I did? Why?
You held me back up.
Oh, God. I don't know. I was walking with somebody the other day, and all of a sudden she's standing next to me, and she trips, and I'm like, oh, God. And I just grabbed her, and she's like, how did you stop? How did you stop me? And I was like, because I played 9 years of softball, and I was the catcher. I had to grab
her. I was too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, question, though. Did you kneel or squat?
Squat.
Who always. Kneels? First of all, you can
kneels?
Amateurs. I'm kidding.
That's why my legs stayed thick from that fucking softball.
Me too. Oh my god. I was the worst runner.
Really? I was fast.
Oh, see, bless you. What would be a home run for a regular person was a double for me. And
I took it too serious. Little League, too serious. If I struck out, I would, throw my bat into the fence. I was fucking pissed. I took it too seriously.
I took it seriously, too.
For a kid.
And then one girl, oh, God, she was coming home one time, and she literally stopped dead in her tracks. And she went like this. No. And the ump's like, what? He's waving her. She's like, and I had to tag her. She literally said, I'm not running into her. She's too intense. She took the out. She didn't want to do it. And then the next time she had to come home, I was like, now the game's really on because you avoided me once.
Yeah. So and now this is the freaking rivalry now.
She ran home, and my mom said all you saw was a cloud of smoke. We rumbled.
That's so good. That shit was fun.
It was. You played school ball or
I played in middle school, but I played Little League when I in Islip.
Yeah.
And I took it so seriously. So seriously. And then I played in middle school, and then I had to stop playing sports when I was 13. So I went deaf in my left ear. So they were no contact sports, and then after that the rest of my school years, I was only allowed to walk on the track or the treadmill. The whole time I took the same gym class the rest of my entire schooling years, and I was like, wow, this fucking sucks.
Gym class was the most torturous thing in the world for me. Looking at the ropes just intimidated. I was always people who do that, I don't know how they do it. My upper body strength is just not there. And
the sit-ups, I'll do 5 sit-ups and be I can't.
I just, I'm just why? Why do we have to be down? This is not fun.
Test our musical abilities instead. Right?
Exactly. I'm let's just give me a musical number and let me go to town.
How about talent?
Exactly. I'm we can all throw balls. But no, I mean, I was talking to somebody today, Scott Hamilton, the Olympic gold medalist, and we were talking just about the human body and how resilient it is. And I was telling him about my 1 year in gym class where I spent the entire year in a cast. Yeah, I tore the same Achilles tendon twice. So that year in gym class for me,
you're just sitting out on the sidelines.
Exactly right. I actually became my teacher's secretary. I started answering his phone and doing all his filing. I made use of myself. I was like, I can't just sit here.
Yeah, I feel that. God.
Well, I mean, so you're going to continue and do some more music? Anything?
Yeah, I'm working on another album now, so we'll see what happens. I've been self-producing. It combines a lot of different genres, so I don't really know what to call it. First it was more trap, but then some indie rock got weaved in, some punk and emo, and then it's getting weird.
Who's one of your musical inspirations that you draw?
Probably my biggest is Bruce Springsteen and also Justin Bieber. I look up to them a lot, and one is because of the crowd control. Bruce Springsteen's songwriting is legendary, and Bieber's voice, and just, he's literally talented at everything. It's ridiculous.
Well, we were jamming in the car to him the other day. Everybody was in the back seat, and you and I were just going hard on some Bieber.
And I like Taylor Swift too a lot. She's such a good songwriter, and it's just a lot of people don't like her for whatever reasons, but it's she is a hook master with her songwriting, and it's you can't deny that.
No.
You're oh, I don't like Taylor Swift's music to be trendy, but it's no, she's a hook master.
Well, one thing that you can't dispel is talent, and that's what I always find. You can say whatever you want about anything or anyone,
or whatever.
But at the end of the day, if you have talent, if you can sing, if you can act, if you can dance, if you have a passion, nobody can really knock you.
You're right. People knock me, though. Everything I've done. That's why I'm just you can't act, you can't sing, you can't play guitar, you can't rap, blah, blah, blah. And look, I just did it all in one night. Okay. So fuck them all.
You have to. It's like, you know, I've had people telling me since I'm 17, oh, you can't. I'm like, okay, but guess what? I am, and I'm going to just continue to do it. And it's just a matter of just like not letting all the shit get in your head. But it's hard because, you know, I'm currently writing something right now, and I'm talking about my coming out story. And I'm like, well, I was called the F word for the first time, and I was like, but I'm used to being called a different F word that I've been called my whole life. Wow. We all know the fat word, and I'm like, so when people come at me with insults, I'm like, first of all, be original, make it worth my time, and second of all, you know, it's all about just doing your own thing in life and on your own journey. And sometimes people are just insecure with their own journeys, and they come and try and be on your journey.
That's exactly why. I've had a few of my high school bullies apologize to me. Yeah, years after high school, and say like, "Wow, Ryan, you're doing so well. I'm so sorry for how I treated you when we were in high school." Yeah, I remember one day so clearly. I was in 7th grade, and I was so into rock and roll at the time, and I wore leather pants to school, and I was so.
You're amazing.
Proud, right? And I didn't know it like wasn't cool, like to the kids. And these kids called me Couch, this girl and her friends. And I went home hysterically crying, and I never wore them again. And it, you know, it like destroyed me. Like I thought it was the coolest thing. Like my heroes are wearing that. My guitar teacher, who I looked up to so much, you know?
Yeah.
And it just ripped me in 7th grade. And then that girl ended up apologizing, like specifically for doing that to me. Like, and I was like, wow, you know, thank you.
I had an interesting experience. I went back to visit my old high school to go see one of the shows, and this was like maybe 2 years after Hairspray. And I'm walking through, and I see a girl that I went to high school with, and I'm like, oh God. And instantly, I was back in 7th, 8th grade, and I'm like, I'm instantly uncomfortable. Doesn't matter what I've done now, I'm still back in school with her. And she walks up to me and, hi, and the phoniness starts, and I'm like, bleh. Anybody have to tap?
Because now
I'm like, I know. I'm like, I need my Pepto and my ginger ale because she just made me so nauseous. And I'm like, hi, and she goes, can I take a picture with you? And something came over me, and I'm not a bitch, but I looked at her and I was like, let's just be real. I said, in high school, that would have been shocked at my face.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm at a different point in my life now, so let's take a picture. And then we took a picture. I said, just please be kinder to people in the future. She was like, oh, okay. And she ended up opening a jewelry business, and I actually bought my mother a Christmas present from her. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it was my way of kind of forgiving her in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Let this be.
Wow.
It's weird. Bullies, since I'm a kid, my nan, I used to come off the bus crying, and she'd be like, Nikki, you know, people just make fun of you because they're insecure with themselves. And now, as I get older, it's like I hear her more and more and more in my head. Are there any, like, things that you tell yourself, mantras, just to get through?
Yeah, for me, it doesn't come naturally, and I think that is because I was bullied so much I was bullied from starting in elementary school, you know, just for liking baseball and being a tomboy and being into the Red Sox when I lived in New York, and it was just like torture all the time, you know. But now, you know, I remind myself, like, you know, look, you've accomplished so much at such a young age, and you're talented, and you're a good friend. And that's something I remember a lot. Is it was a few years ago, I had a birthday party, and my friends came, right, back when we didn't have to social distance. And my friends came, and I was like, don't bring any gifts, don't bring anything. And all these people brought cards for me, all my friends, and they almost in every single person's card, they're writing, you're the best friend I've ever had, you're such a good friend. And I was like, me? Really? You know, it didn't hit me until then. I was like, oh, I guess I'm a good friend.
Yes.
So I always think of that.
Those are the things that mean the most. Because it's like, no matter how much we succeed, and
you need the
real human connection, the feeling.
Nothing could replace it.
No, and it's like that's why I always say, it's like I was talking to somebody the other day. I said these robots are supposed to be taking over actors or replacing actors. I'm like, there's nothing like a human experience, and
we can't relate to robots. People need people to look up to. People need people to relate to feel their feelings, whatever they're going through. Like, that's why people listen to breakup songs. That's why people listen to love songs. You know, like, there's a reason for all this.
Yeah, yes, there's a reason for all of it. I think that's what I tell myself every day. When
it's not
life
just entertainment.
Like crazy. I'm like, there's a reason for all of this. I have to believe. Are you listening? Are you up there,
The
ma'am?
Renaissance is coming.
I know. I'm like, hey.
I'm holding out hope for it.
Oh my god.
The plague followed by the Renaissance.
I'm holding out for something. I'm praying. I'm like, tomorrow I go back to New York, and I'm just like, I've always loved New York. It's my home, but I found being out here, I feel so much better.
Me too. There's a magic of the city.
Yeah.
I always feel it, and I still feel it. I lived in SF, and every time I would come to LA, I would feel that same magical feeling. Yeah. And I still feel it even after being here almost 4 years.
I lived here for a while, and it was like I was just filming so much that I didn't get to really live. So this time I came, I did some things that I've always wanted to do, and it's been really, really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to coming back very soon.
Good. You better come back.
Oh, I will. And when I do, can we hang out and chat again?
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad I came on.
I'm glad I came to your apartment so you could come on. So we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.